You don't get to 13 subscribers without making some enemies. I'm trying to make Terraria mixed with Angry Birds mixed with Bad Piggies. Why are two of the reference games by Rovio Entertainment? I'm really not sure. Can you believe they made an Angry Birds movie, a movie out of a mobile game? Anyways, back on topic. I want to put this into this thing. No excuses if and or buts. We're gonna put the ship in the building game, and it's gonna be in space, right? That's what I'm trying to do. I have 10 terminals open. I'm making this game in C, right? I'm trying to make it really good because in order to uphold this vision of being able to create spaceships and space stations and navigate a solar system with your friends, the physics and all the other things need to be really solid. Bugs ruin this game, like they do in another game like this game called Space Engineer. See, look at this game. They have pistons in it, right? You try to push the thing you built up, and it just detaches from the thing you just built. Space Engineers could have been this magical creative paradise, but the execution was just too complicated in 3D. By narrowing it down to 2D, I think I can get the fundamentals really solid and make it so you can make Angry Birds, Bad Piggies like ships and fly around with them with your friends. Anyways, I was making this game in C, and I'm really trying to get the rotation working correctly. This is what I had before, right? There's no rotation on the collisions, and everything doesn't look right, because I'm trying to do the physics myself. If you watched my last video, you would know my reasoning on this, on abandoning this pursuit of writing the physics myself in order to make it not be like all buggy and shit like Space Engineers. Writing the physics is like up here. It's like kind of super concrete and not directly related to the base goal of making this game, Anyways, I just finished pulling in somebody else's complete physics and calling into those functions in my networked game stuff. Look at that, perfect rotations, all synced across the network. And it didn't take a PhD in physics dynamics. Anyways, I got a much bigger problem on my hands now that technical thing that I could have gotten hung up on for months was done in, like a day. I've got to actually confront the big design problems with this game, right? Like, how is inventory going to work? How is actually building the ships going to be not complicated like in Space Engineers? Like, you look at this game, right? It's mostly about managing these stacks of resources and items in a big grid, right? The thing that bothers me about this is it's probably not how super futuristic humans would do things, but that's not even my primary concern, because who cares about believability or suspension of disbelief or realism if it's fun, right? My biggest problem is this is just not fun. Dragging around boxes and inventory management, like in Space Engineers, to lessen this problem, they try to make it so when you connect all your chests, you can access any chest like based on the connection. Or like in Minecraft, they added the whole hopper system, right? This feels like it's like patching. It's just adding patches to a really big gaping hole in resource management, right? Like, this is roughly how it works in most survival games. You start out exploring, just kind of dropped into a world you don't understand. You discover new resources, like you discover iron or wood, or just some new thing in the environment that you realize you can take advantage of. You craft from the new things you discovered, and then you build and explore with what you crafted, right? This loop is fundamental. I think that exploration in this game, I have pretty much nailed down what it's going to be like. You're going to be flying through space along planets, right? Like, this is going to be you. And you're just going to see some stuff, and you're going to see some new stuff, right? No spoilers for the game that is going to come out in like a year or two or something. The problem is, I don't know how I want to approach the craft and build side of things, because I want to do something that other games haven't done before, and that really takes this feeling of discovery and freedom to the next level. Like, when you think about a real life backpack, that's like what Minecraft inventory is based on, right? Like, you look at this backpack and it can only really hold like 10 to 20 things, maybe. I don't know if any of you guys have gone backpacking before, but it's not a giant grid of things that are 64 stacks, whatever. It's like 10 things, and you kind of know what they all are. It's like your sleeping bag, and then like your tent, your food. It's all neatly organized and very distinct, and not crowded with a bunch of shit to manage. Like, this giant grid is just not very interesting to manipulate. In Minecraft, often in the late game, your inventory just gets super full and you never have room for things. It's very annoying. Like, I don't want this game to just be about an arbitrary accumulation of stuff. I want the interesting parts to come from the building and the exploration. not the like random number of different craftable things, right? Another thing is, how are you going to discover new things that you can craft, right? In Minecraft, you have like the grid, and then you had to like Google how to craft certain things. That's not a very good example, but in other games like Subnautica, right? It's like your computer broke on the crash landing, and you don't know all the things you can build yet. So in the environment, there's a bunch of scattered blueprints that like teach you new things to craft. I've always found this incredibly cheesy and just disorienting. It's not fun to just not be able to build most things every time you restart the game, right? I want this game to be very replayable. I guess these are the two design goals I have, right? I want an inventory crafting system that doesn't force you to manage numbers and like stacks and stuff, but also gates advanced construction of certain components without just hiding them as like a floating blue thing you like collect in the environment that you like scan or something. I think how I'm going to approach these problems is I'm going to have all of the, instead of like mining like wood, iron, coal, or the separate elements, you dissolve the matter into like juice. Like this is just number, this amorphous thing, and you can convert it into any thing that you know how to build for that fixed price, right? And then instead of having a glowing blue like go crash it, I'm gonna have all the advanced components. You synthesize them from like taking really big or hard enemies and building ships to destroy those enemies with your friends. This is a rough to-do list of what I'm gonna do to get this shit done and in your hands. Like and subscribe.